Hey guys, welcome back to K&S Get Out. It is already warm.
Yeah, it is.
And it's gonna get warmer today. But yesterday, Bruno had a big day. Not only did he discover the turtle and clearly scare the living daylights out of him.
His voice is coming in.
He's getting his little man bark.
It's
the
so
growl,
cute.
the bark, which has a little bit to do with the event that he had yesterday. So we're gonna get him out and we'll talk about that a little bit. And of course, we got some footage of it. Watch out for the danger, helicopter tail. That guy will break a leg.
Yeah, he's good at breaking plants.
Or
I'll
a
tell you
tomato
that.
plant, yep. Mm-hmm.
Hi.
I gotta get your pretty necklace on you, buddy. We got some work to do this morning. All right, he's gone potty. He's eating a little bit. So we decided we'll go ahead and get our chores going. Show us where to go, big fella. When you go check the nest, as you guys know, or maybe you don't, we got Bruno because we had a couple of neighbors up the road that had a unintentional breeding, if you will. And so neighboring Pitt came and bred his Catahoula lab mix mama. So Perry up the road had 7 puppies and he was in no position to raise 7 puppies. So in his efforts to try to get them good homes, he was very concerned about where they went. Rightfully so, he loves those dogs. And we took Bruno. Perry, being the softie that he is, I hope he doesn't hear that because Perry ain't no softie. He is a very kind and generous person, but he's still got one of the female pups. Her name is Wishbone. And we have been talking about doing a play date with the 2 of them. We did want to get him kind of used to Nala, used to Hercules, at least things around here before we did that. But yesterday was the day. And let me tell you, little Wishbone, I think he outweighs her by 5 to 15 pounds. You tell me, we got a little footage of this. But she is there with her mama and they stay outside together. They have the same routine together. And as Perry was telling us, every single evening before dinner time feeding, dinner time potties, all that good stuff, they play. And like dogs would play, especially with the kind of breed that this is. A little bit of Pit in Wishbone, not in Mama, but Catahoula, she can take care of herself. So Wishbone's a little more trained than Mr. Bruno at sparring. And I gotta admit, round 1, play date number 1, 100% went to Wishbone. The girl's doing like flying ninja stuff. I mean, she knew what to do, getting him by the jowls. And he was a little embarrassed, but he had so much fun. We have not seen him deplete his batteries that much in one sitting, well, since day 1.
Yeah. Well, and he thought he was tough, but he wasn't actually that tough. She rolled him several times. She took him down. It was
dominated
adorable.
the situation. And of course, because Mama was there, her name's Pearl. Because Pearl was there, Pearl kind of made sure things stayed in line, but she's not very old. She's just a little over 2 years, so they're all pretty young dogs. Of course, Wishbone and Bruno, both about 5 months old, but he just, yeah. So
he had so much fun.
We learned a lot from that. For one, we need the boy to keep training because it was embarrassing for him, but he got over it. For 2, if that's the kind of playing he wants to do with Hercules, never, not gonna happen. So my assumption is when Herc puts him down and then he gets back up and starts to pursue Herc, Herc will turn around and give him the, hey, I told you. What Bruno's wanting to do is what we witnessed in this clip here. Resist the guineas. So I think it's safe to say that if that's the kind of playing he's expecting from Hercules, he's not going to get it. We're not going to force that. We will still let them get acclimated with one another, maybe make it so that eventually Bruno will just kind of do his thing while we're out and Hercules his own thing. Herc likes to do perimeter checks and everything, but we'll see how that all comes together. I just really don't think that Herc is the type of dog or personality to get in that kind of playful mode with him, at least at this stage in his life.
You know what he did?
What's that?
He brought his bone that he got from Perry's yesterday up here.
He was gifted that. He and Wishbone were playing with that a little bit, and
Oh,
Perry
that's
said,
true.
hey, I got a whole lot more, take this with you. And he stinking loves it. But like his brother, he carried it up the hill secretly and was gonna bury it in the bird run. Don't do that.
Little stinker.
See you later, dude. Have a good day. So, needless to say, we had a great time. We will be taking him back up for those meetings, and Perry wants to bring Wishbone down here where we've got a little more open area and see if they'll just kind of open it up and run, and who knows? I think they're called play dates. I think it's a normal thing to do with at least humans. We do it with dogs. It's fantastic. Hey, you going to check the eggs?
He doesn't know where the nest is yet.
Oh, okay. Hey, don't find the nest. He's headed right for it.
I know.
Over here. Oh, this is the roosting tree for the guineas. You know that by how much of their poo is all over the ground. And I have seen them. They roost in this tree right here. They love it. The nest is just right over there, so it's not too far from home, if you will. But they definitely make a nice big ring of deposit down here. As you guys know, we've had multiple nests that have been invaded by critters. We had some that the goats had kicked one of the eggs, and so the birds abandoned it. We have enough in the incubator. We are able to, you know, if they have different nests here and there, we're able to collect those and eat them. But now we're trying to kind of figure out our rhythm. Like, what do we do? Because I can tell you right now, there is not an egg that would hatch out here and last more than 5 minutes. Our owls, we have 2 pairs of owls, and I always get their names mixed up, but one's a barn owl and the others are barred owls. Hooters and screechers. I think I have that backwards, but look up your owls, you'll know what I'm talking about. But there is an owl, I think it's the male based on how big he is. He stays up here almost full time through the day, of an evening, and we'll hear him quietly go from tree to tree, the birds go off, but he's not doing anything with or to the eggs in their current state. He also doesn't do anything to our adult guineas. But I promise you, the moment, if they were to actually incubate these and make it the 21 to 28 days that it takes, if one of them started to hatch, it would be gone. So we're not gonna let it happen naturally out here, especially since we've got so many in the incubator. But then that forces the question, okay, what do you do with the eggs? Do you just feed all the predators and reptiles and things out here? No, we're gonna see how many we can take, and they keep laying there.
So I always try to sneak up here whenever the birds aren't up here, because I'm afraid that if they see me around their nest, that it's gonna deter them from laying here. But yesterday, when we came up here, I was able to get 4 eggs out of the nest, and that left 14 in there. So I just checked it this morning, and there's 17 eggs. So they're still laying. They didn't see me come up here and take eggs yesterday, so I'm hoping that today they don't see me, but they are pretty close. But I'm gonna just start with taking 3 eggs out of the nest and see if they'll still continue to lay. Because even if it's 3 eggs that I take daily or whatever, at least we'll know where the nest is and we know where to come collect them from every day. So we're gonna see how this goes, and hopefully they'll continue laying here.
Well, and you've been careful when you collected those 4. You tried really hard not to touch any of the other eggs, didn't you?
Right, I tried really hard not to touch any of the others. There are 17 eggs in there right now.
They're watching you.
That's what I was afraid of.
I'm just kidding.
So I left 14 in there. I'm hoping that's our magical number.
Keep it around 14.
Keep it around 14, maybe they'll continue to lay. No, I did not mark any of the other eggs, so I don't know which ones are the old ones, which are the new ones. I know, I probably should, but we're not at that point just yet.
Yeah, and I think you'd have to get some rubber gloves, and because I mean, once you've handled them.
That's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid
Yeah.
they won't come back to it.
Well, and I came up yesterday because I was kind of testing that theory of, you know, what if they're around, what if they're watching, and I found 5 or 6 of the birds down this direction, so I thought there may have been a couple up here, and so I snuck up, and sure enough, man, one of the dark pearls covering the eggs. But he doesn't treat me like he does Hercules or Bruno. He actually stays calm. I got a little footage of it. He just sits there and stares at me. Didn't make a peep. Didn't make his little motion like he did toward Hercules that one day. So they know we know where it's at, but I think we got this whole parental thing figured out, and they trust us. It's gonna be an ongoing experiment.
Trust Kyle.
Yeah, well, and I didn't bother him to move him to see how many eggs were there. I just said, I'll be back later, buddy. See ya.
I'm hoping that because I give them worms in the morning, they trust me.
We bribe our guineas.
That's part of my theory there.
Yeah, it's in the handbook, guys. Get the guinea handbook, and it talks about bribery and talking to them and giving them nicknames. It's all a part of it. All right, so the guineas are doing great. We know where their nest is at. We're getting their eggs. Bruno's doing awesome. His training is going well. He's got new friends / family that he's gonna get to play with, and we'll keep that up. The goaties, we've had them in that new addition to the pen so that they can go up and hang out there, and they have been loving it. I think specifically their favorite thing about it is early in the morning, they can get sunlight up there.
I just kind of throw them all over the place. Bruno, don't eat them. Leave them.
Poor Gray, you can see his back right there. This is what that other pearl guinea will do to him. Kind of like chickens do. I remember Dad had to put those capes or skirts or whatever. We're not gonna pull that off with guineas. Plus they fly, so they need their wings, but they pick on that spot between their main wings. Poor guy. We aren't 100% sure if it's always the same guy, Bully and Gray, because they all three, these three males right here, look identical.
I call him Bob. Big old bully.
Big old bully.
Bob. Always bullying Gray. Hey.
Are you enjoying them worms, Bruno?
You don't need to eat their worms, buddy.
Get your protein, big guy. So the goats love that sunshine early in the morning. They can get up out of the pen, which is drying up very nicely because we haven't had rain in a few days. But I've been kind of tired of grazing them all over the place, twice a day, spending hours doing that. And so by opening up that area, I have also started supplementing by trimming a lot of tree branches and things. But I know Dad has talked about many times he will take his pole saw down and cut down some limbs for his goats, and they all get excited. I started doing the same thing. In fact, a big reason why we built Goatville where we did is because it was pretty unmanageable. We tried to take a weed eater to it the first season we were here, and it was just terrible. So now they've done a great job at cleaning the underbrush, and I can get in there, cut stuff down, and now they also are used to hearing the pole saw, and they're like, what are we getting to eat? Hey babe.
Yeah?
I did save your office yesterday a little bit.
I can tell, and I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah. Well, we had that big oak come down in that storm a few, I don't know, month or two back. And we've been still working on all the cleanup from that, making good progress. But these two trees I have not cut down yet. And they had branches that when it gets windy, they will hit the top of the office and you can hear them from inside. In fact, from outside when you hear it, you think there's a critter up here. But that is like the ugliest, bendiest tree ever. It does provide a tiny bit of shade. Now, I did a controlled burn in this area, and I will say that trunk took a bit of a hit, which tells me that it's not the healthiest of trees to begin with. And of course, my app that we identify things with also told me, hey, this tree isn't healthy. I know. So this guy's got to come down, but I'm gonna have to get a little bit tricky with it. It's not real big, and it doesn't pose a huge threat, but yeah, I want to pull it this way.
At least the branches aren't touching the building anymore. That's nice.
There's a branch that came off right there, and it was hanging over and smacking the top of the building. So I cut that with the pole saw. Now this tree back here, a little bit thicker, had a big branch coming off right there, and that one was laying. I mean, the leaves were literally laying on top of the building. So I had to be a little strategic with my cut on it, but I did make the cut, didn't hurt the building. That tree is actually a mulberry tree, and it was a bigger branch even than that one right there. So I drug it down to the goats. It is actually good for them. It's okay for them to eat. It does produce some berries, and I'm not really sure if they eat those or not, but I can tell you they stripped every single leaf off of that branch in a matter of 5-10 minutes, and then of course they're all scratching their horns on it and having a good time with it. But this will buy us a little bit of time. I'm gonna finish doing some of the cleanup out here, and probably gonna ultimately have to cut those 2 down and just make sure I pull them away from the office.
Yeah. They love this extra area.
They do. That's that mulberry I threw in there yesterday, and they have stripped the bark. They're doing all of it.
You guys are doing great.
Look, they see the pole saw. It even smells better down here.
It
now
really
that
does.
they're not all as concentrated over here. So goatville, the original design of that, hi mama, hello Mario, was so they could help us clear that, and we didn't have to rent a skid steer and try to traverse that hill and everything. And I thought, you know, if you look at where Dad's goats have grazed on his property,
Yep.
it has really done a good job, and he's gone back through, taking the saplings out, tried to cut the roots down and everything. So I thought, you know what, before we ultimately try to figure out a new plan for these guys and where they can graze more, let's finish out the job that we started here. So I have already started clearing a bit, but Shannon and I are gonna need to get some of the other saplings and things that I've already dropped down and try to pile them before we cut fresh stuff down for them to eat. And they should be following us around through the process. Hi, buddy. You can go down in Goatville and help clean up a little bit? Yeah, what do you think? We'll make you a big old stick pile, and you can go pick whatever sticks you want out of it, okay? That's a good boy.
He's so handsome.
He sure is. He's my good boy. I try not to whack the goats too hard with the branches.
Well, that's sweet of you.
Well,
Tell him, little Mario.
he said,
Hey, I just want to give a very quick update on the turtle. I did dump an entire bag of lime on top of it, and it has helped tremendously with the smell. It does still smell a little bit, but it's way, way better than it was.
I think it's really gonna open this up to have more stuff growing from the floor, since not all of these, like if you look over there, there's probably 10 or 15 saplings that aren't gonna make it anyhow, so we may as well let them eat them. Doing it this time of year, those trees have leaves on them, so we're not wasting, you know, by coming and doing this in the fall or the winter, they're actually getting to snack on it. So I think it's better to do it this way.
I do too. Earl's over here using Larry as a step stool.
The Blues crew definitely works together to dominate things. Golly, you guys are crazy.
It's really hard to see the comparison as we're down here as to how much work they've done cleaning this area up, but this is just on the other side of the fence. So you can see basically this is what it looked like inside Goatville before we brought the goats in here. This stuff right in here, that's all that same coral berry that's right over there. So they have annihilated it. It's really hard to see because the sun coming in and out, but man, it's a big difference.
Well, when we first cut a line, we came in right here. We could not determine how to get down here from any angle. I brought the weed eater down, we strapped on the GoPro and cut a line down from there right up to about that log, and that's about all the further we could make it.
Yeah.
And honestly, we did nothing else with it until we got the E-fence up. I think we did that over a winter whenever it wasn't as thick.
Well, you did bring the skid steer down here and make a perimeter for the fence.
Oh, I might have done that. Fence. I forgot about that. It's all coming together, you know. But yeah, we encompassed all this, and now the fact that we can see through it, let alone traverse through it, is incredible. And so I just kind of want to continue that process. I think there's a little bit that I need to do, like dropping some of these saplings and things, but we've still got some big trees. In fact, one of them, and I want to talk to you guys about this in a future video, but that really big one right there, that is a black walnut. And so it provides a ton of the shade that's down here. So technically, I think if I take out all of these little saplings over here, they're gonna free up a little bit of sunlight down into here, which will help promote growth on the floor. And then hopefully in due time, we can get it all manageable, and then Shannon can come down here and mow it.
Because you all know how much I mow.
Yeah, yeah. Can you start the mower?
No, I don't even know what to do.
I just wanted you to admit that. It's okay. No, I'm just kidding. But realistically, we'll probably leave this fence, this E-fence. I don't see a need to take it down. And if we keep this here, then of course we can bring the goats back. They can continue keeping it clean. Or if we get future animals that are browsers or grazers, we could use this pen for them and move the goats on to a new section and just keep the process going with some natural land clears.
Just part of that rotational grazing.
All right, I'm gonna start chucking stuff down the hill.
Okay.
Okay, are you helping me out, Hercules? Yeah, that's a good boy. Can you bring it down the hill? Yeah, pick it up. How you do this? There it is. Bring it down here, bub. Yeah, that's a boy. Bring it to me. Come on, big fella. There's a boy. There's my boy, Hercules. He's looking back at the other end of it like, what's holding on to it?
That's so cute.
Too slow. You're gonna have to go down the hill to eat the rest of this one.
Big helpers.
Big helpers. Yeah, you try to throw it down, they try to hold on to it. They can work on that one there. I think it's a new tree. That was already down. Oh, Blue and Earl are talking to you. He and Mama and his brother will actually stand right under the branches as they're coming down. The rest of the goats have figured it out. Mama just stands there like, yep, come on. Lands on top of her, she starts eating. The boys are right there with her. But see, this is nice because if we consolidate the pile, I know they'll do this until they're done eating all the stuff off of it. And as it piles up, it keeps those leaves off the ground, and they really like to pull them off of the branches rather than pick them off the ground. She's our best ground grazer right there. And Spruce, when he's in the mood to eat, he'll eat it from anywhere. I wasn't born yesterday.
Nice moves.
I don't hit them any more than I hit myself. That's fair, right? I've been smacked on a few of my tosses.
It's harder when they follow you around and want to be in the middle of everything you're doing.
Yeah. It didn't take them but about 1 or 2 cuts. They were scared of the pole saw when I first brought it. But when they realized that the pole saw meant leaves were coming down, they followed me around and I had to keep the head of it away because they were just ready to eat. They're pretty good though. Well, and you made a good point, kind of like turning that one over. By carrying these down and throwing them down here, they get a different angle at them. And so hopefully they can get all the snacks and treats off it that they want. You don't want to be holding on when I throw it, kids. But see, already, all that sunlight making it in, a lot of that is just because we're taking out the undergrowth. And so the higher canopy, you know, obviously it's permeable by the sunlight. That will help with just floor growth in the years to come, giving them plenty to eat on down here, or whatever grazer browser we put down here in the future.
And it just already looks so much better.
It does. Yeah, because we were ducking and catching spider webs in the mouth and getting smacked in the face by limbs that you just didn't see until you hit them. So taking out those little ones that are just kind of a nuisance, this is really looking good.
Yeah.
And we still have that little bit of thickness up front to provide a little privacy, because goats don't like to be watched from the road, you know. Especially Spruce. He likes his privacy. Good job, buddy. You cleaned that pile up.
He's the only one down there in the middle of all that. Such a loner.
Bottle baby, Mom. Bottle baby.
I know it.
Special. You know what's gonna make a big difference? These four right here. I can feel it.
Watch out!
Oh, sorry. That one was a bit much. Sorry, Koopa. Nobody's phased. They just think snacks fell in their faces.
They really aren't phased.
No. That's what I was saying. Is look who are right in the line, and they knew it. It was Mama, Koopa, and little Mario. Spruce is unfazed. Yeah, you won't hit me. You're afraid of me. Yeah, that's true. Finally get a little bit of separation here. We got the Blues crew all over there together. You got Tweedledee and Tweedledum over here. I mean, Spruce and Luigi. And then Mama and her boys over there. They're all spread out just enough. And here comes the sheriff doing his check.
I'm proud of you, babe. This looks good. You're doing a great job down here.
Thank you. I kind of just want to keep using this for Herc wants to be. I got your 6, Mom.
I appreciate it.
That's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's just watching your back.
Thanks,
That's a
Herc.
good boy. Well, I'm going to keep dropping some of these. The ones that are the little saplings well underneath the canopy getting shade and everything, those trees never stand a chance unless I were to take out a lot of these big trees, which is not the goal.
We're not gonna do that. Not
So
right now.
I'll probably just kind of keep dropping these as appetizers for them, and we'll use it for their morning grazing time so that we don't have to be outside walking around with them, trying to make sure they stay on the property, all that good stuff. But this is them helping us. This is them doing exactly what we put them down here to do.
Yeah. And they're killing it.
They are, quite literally. I killed it and they're catching it before it like dies. We'll get that pile built down there, get some fires going, and eventually we'll have Goatville looking the way we dreamt it, right?
Yeah.
Very good.
And then we'll be ready to move them to a new area.
That's right. And bring in something new. Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, guys, we love and appreciate each and every one of you. We thank you for coming on this journey with us. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.